Hello, ladies and gentlemen, as guardians and mutants alike, and welcome to another Liam Maiden gameplay video. Back with more Marvel Strike Force today, where we're going to be looking at the best first villains team, the Sinister Six. Now, a while ago I did a video on the Defenders. I think the Defenders are the best first team to farm, definitely the best hero team to farm. They've got really great synergy. I'll pop a card up in the right hand corner, a link to that video. Do check it out if you haven't seen it already. But today we're going to be focusing on the villains side of the game. You've got your heroes team, now you need the villains, and that's where the Sinister Six come in. They really are the best team for beginner players to farm, that first villains team that I think you should be going after for reasons that I hope will become apparent as we proceed through the video. As usual, as with the Defenders video, I will have a graphic at the end showing you all of the members of the Sinister Six team, where to farm them, and how far to gear them and level them up, so stick around for that. Don't forget to like and subscribe to the channel for more Marvel Strike Force and Star Wars Galaxy of Heroes videos, and as always, comments and criticisms are welcome down below. Let's go. Now, before we get any further with this, the big thing to point out is that as of the time of the making of this video, so that's August 2020, there are only 5 members of the Sinister Six available in the Marvel Strike Force game. But we do know that the 6th member, the all-important Doc Ock, is going to be coming to the game sometime soon. Now, Doc Ock sounds like he's going to be an amazing character in the game. He's actually going to make the Sinister Six the Sinister Six. Not only is he the 6th member, but when you have him in your squad, he's going to have the ability to call in that missing member. Obviously, there's 5 people on a squad in Marvel Strike Force, so if one of them is Doc Octopus, he's going to be able to call in that 6th missing member of the Sinister Six. So you're basically going to have 6 tunes against your enemy's 5. Sounds really fantastic, and I can't wait for him to join the crew. But I won't be able to include him in the video today because he's not actually part of the game yet. So this video today is just going to look at the 5 core members of the Sinister Six squad. And they are Vulture, Mysterio, Rhino, Shocker, and Green Goblin. Now, of those 5, Rhino is going to be by far the easiest to farm. You're going to farm him through the Blitz currency store. You're going to spend 500 currency to get 5 shards. Now, if you are following the farming strategy that I laid out in the Defenders video, once you've got your 5 stars for Luke Cage through the Blitz store, you're going to switch to farming Rhino. This is going to be where you get all of his shards from. He really is going to be the easiest one to start. The next easiest one is probably going to be Vulture, though. You're going to get your Vulture shards from the Arena store, so he is going to be your Daredevil substitute. Once you've got your Daredevil up to 5 stars, you're going to switch to farming Vulture. Again, 500 of the arena currency is going to get you 5 Vulture shards. He's probably not going to be quite as quick to star up as Rhino, but still pretty easy because there's not really any actual farming involved. So who are we going to have to farm? Well, we're going to have to farm Shocker. Now, Shocker is available on one node and one node only. That is node 1-9 on Cosmic Battles, the very end of the first level of Cosmic Battles. It's a pretty pricey node as well. It needs 20 energy, so you're going to be needing to spend at least 100 energy a day to farm Shocker. He is going to be one of the slower farms. It's going to take you a while to get him up to a decent star level. Plus, because it's Cosmic, you're going to have to work on a separate team. Your heroes team, your regular heroes team, if you've gone after Defenders anyway, won't work here. You're going to have to come up with a Cosmic team. Now, I use just the top tunes in this lineup here: Yondu, Minerva, Captain Marvel, America Chavez, and Sif. So just a random mix of Cosmic characters I happen to have, and I didn't even power them up particularly far. Just at the levels that they're at right now, this was enough to 3-star that node and get me to farm Shocker. So all you need to do is something similar, and then you've got an extra rubbish team that you can use in war or low-level raids, for example, but your main goal here is just to get that 3 stars in Cosmic 1-9 so you can farm Shocker. Next, it's Mr. Norman Osborn himself, Green Goblin. Now, Green Goblin is also a farm, Nexus this time, and like Shocker, he's probably going to be a bit of a slow burn. You're going to farm Green Goblin through Nexus node 5-6, and it might take a little while to get to. It's a lot further in than some of the other nodes that we've been farming so far. It's another 20 energy spend per go. So again, you're going to be dropping 100 energy on Green Goblin as well. So between Green Goblin and Shocker, that's 200 energy a day on farming those minimums. So this is going to be a little bit of a grind here. Good news is, Nexus you can just run a regular team on, so you're not going to have to do any additional farming. I just use my Defenders, Defenders plus Punisher. You could use Defenders plus Spider-Man, Defenders plus Ms. Marvel, whoever you like, whoever you're farming. Your regular Heroes team will work on Nexus and should get you Green Goblin. Finally, that brings us to Mysterio, the last member of our 5 Sinister Six squad. The Fearsome 5, the Ferocious 5, the Frustrating 5, I don't know. Anyway, Mysterio is actually going to be maybe the hardest one to get. The most frustrating one, maybe, if we're going with Frustrating 5. And that's because he can't be farmed, and nor is he a regular fixture in any of the stores. The only place currently to get Mysterio shards in the game is the raid store. This is currency that you're getting by participating in raids as part of your alliance. So very important that you join an alliance. Alliances are so important to Marvel Strike Force. Maybe I'll do another video on them at some point, but you really need to be in an alliance and you need to be taking part in raids in order to gather this raid currency so that you can farm Mysterio. So again, it's 5 shards that you're getting, but this time for 1,400, 1,400 of the raid currency. Now you should easily be able to generate that a day. The issue is going to be that Mysterio kind of moves in and out. He's one of these roaming characters, moves in and out of the raid store, so he's not available every day. But you do want to be checking this. It refreshes 2 or 3 times a day, so you want to be checking this store regularly and getting your Mysterio shards whenever you can. So that's it. That's your team. That's the basic Sinister Six squad. But why go after them at all? Why am I recommending that this is one of the first teams that you farm? Probably the first villains team, probably right after you farmed the Defenders. Why are they such a good beginners team? Well, like Defenders, they all have great synergy. They're a complete squad. They all have the Sinister Six tag, they all have the Spider-Verse tag, and there are a lot of buffs that they give each other. They play off each other, and that makes them, as a squad, more powerful than the sum of their parts. There are tons of places to use this team as well. I mean, obviously you're going to use them in your villains campaign. That's exactly what they're made for, but you can also use them in raids, and they're especially useful in Alliance War, where they act as a great counter actually to the Defenders team. Now, that's obviously a team that a lot of people are going to be farming first, so you're going to see it appear a lot on your enemies' rosters. Having the Sinister Six there is a real foil for them, either on defense or attack, mostly because the Sinister Six are able to land a lot of debuffs and prevent a lot of the buffs, a lot of that auto healing that the Defenders get from Iron Fist. Mysterio in particular can really stop that happening and just shut the Defenders down. But one of the main reasons to farm Sinister Six, and one of the main reasons to get on them early, is that opposed to the Defenders, who really have limited viability, yes, they're a great initial team, but they don't offer you anything in terms of legends, Sinister Six offer you not 1, but 2 legendary characters. You can use Sinister Six to unlock both Invisible Woman, Sue Storm, and Shuri. And Shuri right now is one of the best legendary characters in game. That means the Sinister Six are hugely viable, and it's really important to get on them early. Now, unlike Defenders, I recommended that you kind of catch your farming of Defenders somewhere around the 5-star region. Obviously, you can go further with them, but I don't know that you're going to get much more viability after that. Unlike Defenders, Sinister Six, I do actually recommend ultimately going all the way with them. You're going to need to get them to 5-star to do those initial unlocks of your legendaries, and 5-star is a pretty good base. I think when you've got all the characters up to 5-star, they're a pretty decent mid-level team. But these are characters I think you are going to want to go all the way. You're going to want to take each of them to 7-star. But what about their abilities? So character abilities in Marvel Strike Force require different types of materials to level them up to their very top levels, so either 5 or 7 respectively, depending on whether it's a passive or active ability. And the most expensive of these resources are the orange resource materials, the ones that you use to max out these abilities in characters. Now, because they're so expensive, they can be really difficult to farm. So to take a passive ability up to level 5, which is the highest level for a passive, you need 200 of these orange level materials, and they are really difficult to get. You can only get them at the higher level raids or occasionally through orb drops and at the higher level challenges, things like that. So you're not going to be able to power up everyone right away. You're going to need to ration the use of these materials. So that means we're going to need to focus on some of the most important abilities for the Sinister Six squad. For Rhino, you're going to focus on Stampede, using orange materials to take that up to level 7, and Rhino Hide, his passive, you're going to take to level 5. They're really worth having. Obviously, I'm still in the process of leveling mine up, but whenever you see this orange abilities material next to an ability here, that means you're just going to take it to the max level regardless of where I currently have it. Now, Vulture has a lot of great abilities. There's 3 to focus on here. You're going to focus on Fight and Flight, which you're going to take to level 7, Supersonic, which you're going to take to level 7, and his passive, Scavenger, which you're going to take to level 5. Shocker's another twofer. You're going to want to spend your orange ability materials on Sonic Dissonance and Subsonic Blast. Both are really great with buffs to the team and AoE damage to the enemy. Level 7 for both of those. Old Norman Osborn, less to like here, just 1, Fire and Brimstone, his AoE, it is worth having, take that up to level 7 for this very Into the Spider-Verse themed version of the Green Goblin. And finally, Mysterio, rounding out our Sinister Six Light Furious 5 squad. He's another heavy hitter with 3 to look at. The old 1-2, Master of Illusion and Smoke and Mirrors. You're going to want to spend orange materials on all 3 of those, taking them all up to level 7. They're well worth it with a ton of debuffs on the enemy. So there you have it. That's the basic Sinister Six squad as it currently appears in-game, where to farm them, and some suggestions on how high to take up their various abilities. We're still waiting on that legendary character, Dr. Octopus, tipped to arrive soon, but newsflash, stop the press, as we were creating this video, it was announced in-game that yet another member of the Sinister Six squad is going to be appearing, this time in the form of Swarm, the human hive. Now this is really interesting and potentially has huge ramifications for how the legendary Dr. Octopus is going to be used in-game. Prior to this, we were assuming that when Doc Ock arrived, that would mean we had 6 members of the Sinister Six, but it's now looking as though they're maybe just going to keep throwing in more Sinister Six members, so you could potentially have a roster of, well, definitely 7, but maybe 8, 9, 10 possible Sinister Six members that you could use Dr. Octopus to bring into battles. You're only going to have 6 in at a time, if I understand his abilities correctly, but this is going to mean that you have a much more diverse Sinister Six roster, and that is really exciting. Why they chose to give us the Swarm as that 7th member and not maybe, I don't know, Electro or Sandman, they're definitely villains that I consider to be more integral to the Sinister Six. I think they're also going to have more recognizability for the general audience. I don't know. Maybe they've got some cool mechanic in mind for the Human Hive. I'm definitely excited to see how they integrate this character into the game anyway, and how this really great villains team evolves as Marvel Strike Force moves onward. But there we go, that's all for today. When Dr. Octopus and the Swarm arrive, I'll be sure to make videos about them. Probably then I'll be updating this Sinister Six video at some time in the future to incorporate these additional characters into the roster and how they might fit in to some of your farming, especially when we learn how Doc Ock is going to be unlocked as a legendary. But that is all for today. This is your basic farming guide for the Sinister Six team. The team that I recommend is the first villain squad that you go after in the game, if for no other reason than the fact that it unlocks 2 really great legendary characters. I hope that you've enjoyed this video. Hope you found it useful. If you have, then please consider giving it a thumbs up down below, and why not subscribe to the channel? I drop regular Star Wars Galaxy of Heroes and Marvel Strike Force videos every single week. As always, comments and criticisms are welcome down below. Please look after each other, and I'll see you next time for more Leah Maiden gameplay.